Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, even though it's 2:16 p.m. What up, Scar? Ollie. It's been a long road to get back to this spot. Um, long morning. I went to sleep, ready to do this. I'm going to do it. I had such a good intro when I was doing this earlier, so I'm going to try to get back there to it, man. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. 18,000. I want you to get your head wrapped around this number real quick, man. 18,000. You know what I'm saying? Think of anything and then add the number 18,000 to it. That is how many cows were blown to smithereens yesterday. I'm talking blown to smithereens. Smoked milk, titties, beef everywhere. And I don't know how to feel about it. Now, I'm crazy and I tend to think of a lot of things. But when the train derailment happened in Ohio, it got me thinking about some shit that Trump said. And it was like something along the lines of America needed millions, perhaps billions of dollars in infrastructure rework. And I was just thinking to myself, this was years ago, how easy it would be to derail a train, you know? So, when I was a kid growing up, Scar can attest to this, we used to go to this train yard in Philadelphia, and the train yard had box cars, but then it had these weird rounded train cars, and these train cars had like chemical warnings on them. And I would always think, like, what if a graffiti can or a shootout happened in this fucking thing and something blew up? You know, my mind is crazy like that. And then I would venture off and think, well, how could I derail a train? It even got to the point where I came up with this device that you would fit onto a rail and the train would hit it and spin off. Fast forward to the future, the train derails, the comments of Trump stick in my head, and I think to myself, if I was another country, how many trains could I derail? I could probably derail a lot of these motherfucking things. Fast forward to the future, boom, trains are derailing everywhere. Google it, do your own thing. It's everywhere, and it's kind of freaky. But this shit right here, this ain't no goddamn train, man. This is a fucking cow farm. How the fuck do cows even explode? I don't get it. I don't want to get it, but it fucks with me. You know what I'm trying to say? And looking at the picture, like, were all the cows, like, grouped up at this one spot? You know what I'm saying? At the bottom? Were they all huddled together, like, stuck in these little encampments or little cages or something? Like, I just don't get the logistics of how the fuck you lose 18,000 cows. Now, cows are combustible. Aren't they full of methane? There you go. They are. They are combustible. But still, they'd have to go up in flames at once. Unless it was like a chain reaction and one cow farted and blew up and then it just do 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 do. But even then, 18,000? I can't wrap my head around it. It's just because 18,000. Now, how many stores or how many grocery chains or how many fucking Sam's Club and Costco's does this shit affect? 18,000. It's crazy. I really don't get it. You know, but I'm a paranoid ass dude, so hopefully it was just some freak ass accident. Only one employee was fucking injured. Call me paranoid. He did it. You know what I'm saying? He lit the. I could picture him getting a firecracker, sticking in the cow's ass, boom, blows up. He gets blasted out the building, and then the chain reaction happens. But it's kind of freaky. You know what I'm saying? Cows. It's cows. Who really cares? That's fucked up. Bro, the price of eggs went up. And I'm pretty sure we still have millions of fucking chickens. When you go to the grocery store and you gotta pay $18 for a gallon of milk, bruh, then how can you eat beef? That's good for people. That's food for people. That's what I'm saying. Like, think of all the beef. 18,000 cows. How many pounds of beef is that? Like, how many pounds of beef? I pay $5 a gallon for milk. Yeah, that's standard price. You know what I'm saying? But imagine paying double that. It's a lot of beef. I'm trying to tell you, it is a lot of beef. Like, I ain't gonna lie. At the base of that little plume of smoke right there, are probably the best steaks we'll never have. Look at them things, just sizzling in that joint. A lot of beef, a lot of milk. Like, it's a lot of beef, but it's way more milk. Because beef, you got to kill the cow. You only have 17,999 cows when you make that first, batch of steaks or whatever you want, right? But the milk, it's a recurring farming that's just gone. Other meat products too, yeah, of course. But I'm just encompassing everything. It's just the milk. Think of how many gallons of milk we just lost. Like, how many galones of milk gone? Shit, our own kind in Africa eat dogs. Our own kind in Africa eat dogs. I'm gonna go to the next topic on that. What are you talking about? Eat dogs? Our kind? Like, I'm African American through way of being Puerto Rican, and I'm pretty sure you African American too. You're talking about us. Man, we not African, bro. We African American. We ain't gotta deal with that. Shout out to the people in Africa who are killing dogs. It's fucked up. Bruh, black people eat dogs. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a bean. This is do a thought experiment. If you were on an island and you had two dogs, a female dog and a boy dog, and they had puppies, you were hungry, you haven't ate meat in a while, you'd eat a puppy. Shit, I'd farm the shit out of two dogs. What you giving me? 10 puppies? 5 to 10 puppies a batch, a litter? Shit. I'll be having some dog kebabs, fried steak dog, beef dog, cube dog, all kind of shit, man. Like, they breed and eat dogs in Africa. I spelled that wrong. No, I can't hear you. Fuck that. If I'm in land and I'm fishing, then 25 million pounds. God damn. Hey, that don't make no goddamn sense. 25 million pounds? Jeez. God damn, that shit ain't even real. See, I haven't even put my mind around that number. 25 million. And you know what's crazy? And I only know this because I have a friend that watches my Instagram. We met through an app called Rando. He lives in Ukraine. Shout out to 3M Underground. Ukraine is a giant importer of meat or exporter of meat. If I'm not mistaken, they are the largest exporter of meat in the world. Might have to fact check that. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. Let me see who's the largest exporter of meat. Largest export of meat. Brazil, as of 2023. Let me see if Ukraine was ever. Alright, Ukraine is the 8th largest exporter of poultry meat globally. I exaggerated. But that's still, I'll be looking for connections, man. I'm looking for connections. Long story short, though, it's a lot of goddamn meat. Meat's gonna go up. Hey, how many gallons of milk is that? Hey, yo, how many gallons of milk is that? How do I even find that out, yo? How many gallons of milk lost Texas explosion? Let's see if we can cross. Hey, Scar, can you find out how many gallons of milk? Because if it's yeah, I don't, damn, trillions is a lot, but it's definitely a lot of gallons. Like, how many? In fact, I can do the math. How many gallons of milk does one cow produce? Right? We'll do that. In one day, hey yo, average U.S. cow produces 53 pounds of milk per day, 6.2 gallons. One cow, 53 pounds of milk. God damn. Let me go to my calculator real quick. God damn. So 6.2. We'll just do 6. Even though that 2 is a lot. It's 6.2 times 18,000. 111,000 gallons. If my math is serving me right. 111,600 gallons of milk. I thought it would be more than that. I ain't gonna lie. I thought the number would be a lot more than that. Is that after the process and watered down, their milk don't just go to people? I mean, think about that. That's a good thing. Cheese. What the fuck else do we use milk for? Cheese. A lot of things we use milk for. Let me see what the hell we use milk for. Largest uses of milk in commercial food. Yogurts, butter, cream, ice cream. Holy. 47. Yeah, see, my fucking math has to be off. 47 million gallons in a year? What do you mean? You mean all of the cows put together produce 47 million? Oh, that's right. That's in one day. That's 111,000 gallons a day. Did you didn't times that by 365? God damn. Hey, yo, listen. I'm saying it now. Breaking news. Go to the fucking supermarket and go get you a gallon of milk right now. Matter of fact, go get 3 gallons. It's over. You about to see niggas running to the grocery stores, to the I don't know what supermarket you got in your joint, to the Cousins, to the Save-A-Lots, you know what I'm saying? To the Walmarts, the Costco's. They about to be going crazy. They're about to be slapping up the thing is, you can't buy 10 cases of milk because you're gonna have fucking mozzarella in your refrigerator by the time the week's over. But god damn, can't that shelf slice only a week get that powdered milk? Hey yo, on some real shit, that's a giant cloud of powdered milk right there. That's not even funny, but that's a giant cloud of powdered fucking milk. Sheesh! Go get your leche. Go get your yogurt. Go get your cream cheese. Go get your cheese, your sharp cheese, your mozzarella cheese, your Gouda cheese. Go get the cheese, dog. It's over. It is over for the motherfucking queso. Now, what else I have? Now, I don't know how to change topics because this cow shit is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's enough for the cows. All right, what else I had here? Woo. Now, this next topic is gonna be it's gonna be so far from this cow thing. I'm gonna have to learn how to bridge my segments to the next segment with a little more finesse. But I want y'all to take a little look at this right here. I want you to take a look at this right here. In this grid, I think this is Sir Ramses. He's a pharaoh in Egypt. I've been carving statues for a little bit. I have a little statue that I'm working on. I'll drop a picture in Discord. I should have had it on here already, but this morning kind of threw me off. But this face that you're looking at, this carving is perfectly symmetrical. You can see the measurements. You see the red rings. You see the orange rings. You see the blue rings, the yellow rings. You see the two giant green circles. That was a mistake. The two giant green circles. These are all perfectly symmetrical. This is a carving, obviously, out of Egypt. And what blows my mind about this little carving right here is that while I was doing my carving, I was having little frustrations making it symmetrical and trying to get it as even as possible, and I just couldn't do it, and I was just looking for ways to do it symmetrical, and I came across this rabbit hole on perfect symmetry in Egypt. Now, they want us to believe that this thing was carved by hand by a human being, and it just happens to be perfectly symmetrical. I challenge you, go into a art store, get a piece of clay, and try to make a ball. Just try to make a round object with the clay. It's going to be lumpy. It's hardly any way to do it. You feel me? Put it on a spinner and sit there with your hands like the movie Ghost and try to make it into a perfect little cup, and it's going to fucking fold and have lumps on it. You're going to be adding clay. It's going to be a mess everywhere. It is very hard to do what you want to do with clay, let alone the precision that this right here entails. To give you a better sense of probably the only way you could do this is you would have to make the left side first and then copy and paste it to the right side. And even then, you have to merge both sides together and make it perfect. This is made out of fucking stone. These people didn't have power drills. Like, if I had $1 million right now, it would cost me a lot of money, maybe all of it, to get a series of statues like this commissioned, perfectly symmetrical, done by hand, and it would take an absurd amount of time. And this is a little statue. So when you start looking at things like this, it gets a little crazier. There is perfect symmetry in everything that the Egyptians have done. It's kind of like a clue. You feel me? The pyramid itself is amazing. You feel me? Like, I don't think people understand just how amazing these things are. You feel me? Because we only see them in pictures and we see them in, movies and shit like that. But just imagine not knowing that this exists. You're walking through the fucking desert. You're thirsty as fuck. Your camel ready to pass the fuck out. You know what I'm trying to say? And you come across this crazy ass thing. You don't know what it is. You don't know what the fuck it looks like. You just see this shit. Then you see another one. And then another one. And then you see a sphinx. This shit is amazing. Now, to give you that type of feeling, just imagine always being in the jungle and then walking into a city for the first time. The first thing you're going to think is, why the fuck did they make that? Or what is it? It's the same exact concept here, except we don't know how these were made. And even in 2023, you could not organize humans freely to do this. This is why we have so many slave theories that there must have been slaves that did this. A slave, and I don't want to disrespect slaves of the past, but a slave isn't a person that has the highest education. A slave isn't someone that is well versed or practiced in masonry. In my opinion, a slave is someone, who's disposable. The people who made the pyramids were fucking geniuses, at least mathematically. Mathematically, the person who came up with the idea, the person who enacted the idea, and the people who organized the people to do this are all genius. You have genius mathematicians. You have geniuses in fucking logistics. How do you, let's just say they was all slaves. How do you bring every single slave enough water to survive the heat? How do you bring them enough food? And then how do you motivate them every day to give up their lives constructing these objects? That pyramid consists of 2 million limestone blocks. Now, when I say limestone, it kind of takes away from what it is. Limestone is, from what I know, is compacted minerals of many rocks, granite and quartz and all kind of shit. It takes time to compact into limestone. You feel me? And then you gotta take the limestone, cut it into fuck carving a statue. Grab a piece of clay and try to make a brick. And then try to make a brick exactly like that brick. And then do 2 million of those bricks. And each brick weighs more than a fucking car. And then try to get someone to move that shit for you and put it exactly where you want it. 10,000 years ago without a cell phone. So for instance, if you're over here in the corner somewhere and someone's over here, I gotta get somebody to go fucking tell you amidst the noise of hundreds of thousands of slaves. This shit is crazy. But to give you a better sense of it, let's go look at them. Let's go look at them real quick because it's going to get a little crazy. Now, I left the earth here on this bluest side because I'm going to talk about that next podcast. That picture right there, that's all water. That is earth. We're not going to talk about that. Now, this is going to be a little hard for me, but I know it's around here. Okay, bang. Okay, bang. Okay, bang. Let that load up a little bit. Okay. Okay, we get in there. We somewhere in the area. Okay, bam. Look at them. There we go. Look how big those things are. It's like they gave the earth titties. Look how big that is. Like, look at this. It doesn't make any sense. That's not a building. That's a, like, yeah, it just still boggles my mind. Woo-wee! Let me take a walk with you real quick. Hold up, big dog. Hey, look at this little camel. Where'd that camel go, yo? That fucking camel, bro. That camel done seen some shit, bro. Alright. It's kind of hard to navigate here because they don't just give you straight arrows. You gotta kind of zigzag through the streets. And if you look real closely, you see that white cap on top of the pyramid? That white cap used to come down around the whole pyramid. So what we're looking at isn't even the entire pyramid. We're looking at the foundation, the underneath. They then coated the entire pyramid with white limestone. So the pyramids used to be brilliantly white. I'm talking massively white, pungent white, and supposedly on top a golden point. But we can't really prove that, and I don't really understand how people even get to those conclusions, so I'm not going to get there. But I just wanted you guys to see it in person. This ain't the view I want. I want to back it up some more. Hold up. Let me get a better road. That road is trash. Let's go to the top of it. Look how smooth this motherfucker is, yo. Like, it blows my mind. Like, I can't even carve my fucking little statue without thinking about this shit. Because it's just too big. It just takes too many people. And it fucks with me. Let me do one more spot real quick. And the reason why I decided to bring it onto the pod is because we have this notion as humans that we are the smartest civilization that has ever graced the planet, right? But no matter how smart we are, we just can't explain how this shit came to be. Like, look at these blocks. Each one of those blocks weighs so much, man. How did they even get to the top, bring it down? Jesus, I'll be here all day. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because the real thing that boggles my mind is the arrogance of humans and how we think, for some reason, that we are the smartest creatures that have ever graced this planet. We are not. And why is this thing all flat like that? Yo. Why you all flat, homie? You see that little cap at the top? They all had that cap. They all was covered with another layer of stone. It's amazing. But I came to the conclusion that we have this arrogance that we are the smartest human beings that ever existed. And the question keeps arising to me is, what is intelligence? What is being smart? What is and what do we consider intelligence? Is intelligence the ability to go in your phone and Google something? Is it the ability that your mind says to Google it? Is it the ability to say, I'm not going to Google it and read it through a book? Like, what makes a person intelligent? It is extremely subjective. But I don't want to harp on that. I started to think about, well, why are we intelligent? And why do we have the ability to ask these questions and other animals don't? In nature, everything is perfect. Birds fly using wind and whatever, the wing design. The air goes higher than the wing on the bottom, and it creates this whatever. I'm not an aero specialist or nothing like that, but birds fly effortlessly. Bees fly effortlessly, and we cannot recreate that, but we are smarter than these things subjectively. And when I look at nature and its ability to create perfect organisms, it makes me wonder, well, why are we different? And why did nature determine that we would have this introspective nature where we would look inside and question, look around and label? If a human looks at a bird, we just cannot look at the bird. For whatever reason, we have to give the bird a goddamn name. Oh, it's a morning jay, or it's a bluebird. We look at a color. If it's blue, oh, it's blue now. We give it a name. We give everything labels, and we have this way of thinking that is so alien compared to other animals. It is completely alien. So when I start hearing about aliens and things from outer space and all this kind of crazy shit, it gets me mad because people don't look at ourselves like that. Like, we are the most alien species on this planet. We're not only alien, but the way we function doesn't really have a purpose. If human beings did not think or become conscious, the earth would be a bountiful garden and everything would be perfect. Things would die when they need to. Things would be born when they need to. But just look at the state of affairs that humans have caused by just thinking. And that led me to what the next segment is. What is consciousness, and what is thought, and why is it so alien compared to the most natural things on earth? If you took the way we think, let's just say you took the way we speak, the way we feel, our empathy, our compassion, our anger, our jealousies, take everything that is human, and if you put that in another animal, that animal becomes human. I'm going to give you an example that is funny. You have never probably thought of it like this, but Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, there are fucking animals that wear clothes and walk around like nothing. You'll be watching an episode of fucking Dragon Ball Z, and Goku will go to a store or some shit, and there'll be a fucking bear wearing a tuxedo. And they will never explain this shit to you. The bear is just a human. You feel me? I would never forget seeing, and this is one specific scene. I think it's when Goku is taking Piccolo to get his driver's license. They're in the line, and then there's just a fucking bear wearing clothes, standing up like nothing. There's a scene where Gohan is running from a fucking T-Rex. Like, the timeline and the humanoids in DBZ are fucking hilarious. But it just makes me think, if we took our consciousness and the way that we think and we put it into another animal, that animal would instantly become human. If, say for instance, you were, on a farm and you were touching a cow and the cow said, "Hey, yo, bro, can you not touch me, dog? Like, I'm having a bad day, bro. Don't pet me." You'd be like, "Oh, shit. My bad, dog. What's your name?" "My name Moo, man." You know what I'm saying? They call me Moo or Lil Mookie. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it would be. You would look at that animal with such respect. You would immediately have to treat that animal with rights. You couldn't beat that animal. You couldn't kill him and turn him into beef. Like, just imagine if a farmer was milking a cow and the cow was like, oh, fuck, I needed that. Like, oh, oh, it was so good. You would freak the fuck out. You would lose your shit. You would lose your shit. So, my brain starts to go into this deep spin of, well, what is that? What is it that we place in other animals? Like, well, what would that be? And that would be consciousness. And it just made me think of, like, as human beings, our consciousness, our who we are, is in our brain. And our brain is in our bodies. And then that made me think of a car. Like, when you step into a car, you become the brain of that vehicle. That car is now going to move when you want it to move. That car is not going to move unless you give it fuel. You have to maintain that car. You have to oil the car. You feel me? You have to tell it what to do, or the car does nothing. But when you leave the car, you are no longer part of it. You're still you, but the car is now just standing still. When we die, is that like leaving the car? Is our bodies just a means of transportation for our consciousness? And if so, why did whoever, the higher power, God, or whatever you believe in, decide that we needed to be on this earth at this particular time, labeling everything and doing the things that we do? And it just blew my mind. Like, what is who we are and what is our body and the relation between them? And if they separate, are we still who we are? And that led me to this little figure right here. This is the human central nervous system. If you strip away all the muscle, all the organs, if you strip away the car, take the whole car apart, every piece, you take it apart. If it was a car, you'd have nothing. But in a human, if you take everything away from us, this is what's left. This right here is the most scariest thing that my mind has wrapped itself around in a long time. Because this wiry thing right here is who we are. This is more unique than any type of configuration that your genes can put together. The size of your nose, your fingers, your ears, your hair, all that can be replicated, and you can see that in other people. Humans aren't as unique as we think. So, me being who I am, in 100 years from now, unrelated to my family tree, a person can be born who looks just like me, who has the complete configuration of my genetics. But one thing they could never be is what you see right here. Because what you see right here starts in the brain. The way the signals go to your fingertips, the way the signal reacts when you're being touched, the way these signals react when you see trauma, this thing right here is more unique than anything we can produce or measure. This object that you're looking at, this little diagram right here, is out of fucking pocket. If we looked at this and we studied more of our central nervous system and the electricity and the absence of understanding, we'd probably become a lot smarter. And I'm going to be focusing on this little thingamajigger for like about a week, trying to understand what it is. I don't really get what it is, but since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with just how we work and why do we think the way we think. And you're looking at it right here. This is a human. Now, animals have the same makeup, they have the same system, you know what I'm saying? Say if you strip down any animal, you'd find nerves like this or whatever. But the way these nerves are set up, the arms, the length, the bipedalness of it, is almost like a refined version of an ape. And if I was an alien and I was looking at this blue marble and I was like, yo, I want this blue marble. I want this lush blue marble in space. I want it to have life. How would I get that planet to be what I need it to be? How would I get this planet full of animals, full of viruses and bacteria and minerals? How would I get it to be good for me? Terraform it. That's the word. How would I terraform this planet? You would have to take an animal from the planet and create something that would be able to live on the planet, survive on the planet, and then change the planet to what you would want to live on. So, in my opinion, as human beings, we are the terraformers of this planet for someone else. Literally shot at the planet like a sperm. Just imagine the Earth as a giant egg and human beings being shot. I think they call it panspermia. It's a theory. I didn't make this up. It's a well-known theory. But just imagine shooting little human beings or human genomes or just knocking out genes with GBRs, trying to create this thing. And then this thing taking over the world like a mold or a fungus or a virus, slowly changing the planet. Becoming just good enough at changing things, and then aliens come in and sweep us out and take over. Crazy, right? Yes, it is. But I'm fucking crazy. And that was the first episode of TopOfTheMorn. Now I'm a little everywhere with it, but I promise my next episode will be more concise. I'll have more topics, and I will branch in between them a lot better. We went from milk to this. And I think that was pretty fucking awesome. So check me the fuck out. Yeah, I know the fucking vibes. I'll be in the Discord. It was only 47 minutes. So I might cut the time down to 40. It's kind of a lot to do an hour by yourself, talking to yourself. And looking at the comments, you know what I'm trying to say? Kind of distracts me a little bit. So I do want to have a co-host or somebody in party with me that can kind of ask these questions. It was supposed to be Woski. So he's been around, but I don't know what's going around. I don't know who's going around, what's going around, or whatever the hell. But hopefully I do get some guest stars, and hopefully hopefully it gave you a spark to think, you know. And if you come across a topic that you want me to elaborate and put my crazy spin on, go to the Discord. Y'all know the fucking vibes. It's the boy RAJ. To the next time, the kids. Top of the morning.